So, see, I'm just going to talk about, obviously, I'm assuming everyone here has at least 5 times as much work experience as me. I'm not calling you old, I'm calling myself young. So, the idea behind writing a good email is you have to keep two or three things in mind. Firstly, you have to be extremely crisp. Okay, so when you're writing to a principal, the purpose of writing a letter or an email to the principal is to see how crisp and how to the point you can be. That is very important even when you're having internal emails, because people have on average receive over 50 emails per day during your working hour period, and beyond that you receive 20 to 30 emails. People don't have time simply to read lots of literature, lots of language. This is not school to studying. You want to convey a message across in as few correct words as you can, making sure that you are getting the point across. So in internal emails, it is always very important. What Pranav has also spoken to us about, to be crisp, short, and limit your this thing. Try to convey as much of the message as you can in the subject itself. So these are two important points for writing an internal email. When you're writing an email outside, suppose you're approaching a principal, you start off with a subject. So with the help of what you would have sent me, I would have got an understanding of how people write, say, the subject. But suppose you're writing to the principal other than Sriram and one other person who had written an email on this. Other than that, anyone wants to just give me an idea of what the subject should be. You all know the question, right? Just yeah. So, for tomorrow's session, blah blah blah, you have to write an email to a busy principal of the school requesting him for an appointment to present your offering, preferably within the next week. So, the purpose of behind writing this email was you're writing to a person who doesn't generally have time, but you're still having to put some sort of subtle pressure on them, saying that you want an appointment within the next week. So, anyone wants to give me an idea of what the subject would look like? What would the subject say?
Seeking an appointment.
Or request for
Full
appointment.
subject.
Urgent request for appointment.
Okay. So, do you feel you should mention your name or your time or something? When imagine you're looking at a busy inbox. I have 50 emails as a principal. I'm getting emails from parents, from other teachers, all of that. Now, what sort of words, what keywords would strike the most? Would urgent strike me?
Yeah, I guess.
No, I don't think so. I don't think urgent would stand out. Would it stand out? What would stand out?
If I had a conversation with the principal over it's a telephonic conversation, and principal knows me well. So if I write the subject, if I mention my name, right? If I mention Chavi and then the seeking an appointment, so that will work.
Okay. That's your point. That if you've spoken to the principal earlier, here assume that you're allowed to assume that you haven't spoken to the principal and it's a cold call on an email. So what do you think would stand out? That is very important. Now I don't want you to give me an answer. There is no correct answer. But knowing that people like a principal, or even if it's a decision maker, then even more, these people don't generally have time to read your entire email and your entire subject. They have time to read your subject, but not your entire email. So what you're trying to convey has to be in the subject and be extremely clear. Srishti's email is a very good example. It says email etiquette and documentation session 20th August. Whenever I'm scrolling through my inbox, I can immediately find an email just with the help of this. So if I've connected this to something in my mind, I can always find it. Appointment for presenting. So yeah, I can't give an answer, but I don't know it myself. But it has to be something crisp and which appointment possibly a date. But here you are asking them for it. So requesting and yeah, so it has to be a lot of keywords which the principal will remember, and looking at it will immediately feel that it is something important. Then the important part, another important part is the signature. So signature of your email plays a very important role in giving an idea of as a person who are you. But at the same time, you have to be very careful that your signature, you are representing the company. So okay, so I'll just ask a simple question. So suppose this is my signature. My name is ABC. Forget this. Okay, and there's a disclaimer. So if this is my signature, what parts of, can everyone see this first? What part of what is missing in this signature? So starting with the first line.
Designation.
Thanks and regards. Thanks is fine, regards is fine.
Your
Designation.
company needed.
Company name.
Company
Logo of company.
Company name.
in your
Phone
contact
number.
Yes, mobile number. Anything else? Your department.
company you are
That more or less goes across in the designation. So yeah, what you're putting here is your name and who are you in the company. That is very important to be conveyed. You cannot just write your name. If someone like say, if I write thanks Abhimanyu and then there's something underneath that, nobody knows who am I and people will not take me seriously. So this line complete. Okay, now this line after that, after your name and all, what should you mention? I've put a quote here. That's good there.
no children it's not good.
Why is it not good?
Not something that I'm saying like official mail. I can't propagate my personal.
Exactly. This is very important. When you are writing an email to an external person, even if it's internal, just your signature is mostly going to be fixed. Make it a point to not personalize your signature too much. Obviously, freedom to the extent that you're writing your name and your mobile number and all should be there, but you should not be putting quotes. You should not be putting like a link to your Facebook profile. Nobody cares what you know, like you have 50 likes on your photo or not. I don't want to see that. I want to know what as a company are you representing. So, Shrishti's signature, for example, very appropriate. So, other than like that, there's a space missing here. Sorry, it's very jarring. But other than that, this is extremely appropriate. This is how a signature should look. So, you write your name, you write your department. In case you don't want to put a designation, you can just write your department, you write the company name, and you put your website. So, and then you put the company ka vision statement, and then you put the disclaimer. Disclaimer is slightly important when it comes to, especially for the salespeople. Legal implications of not putting a disclaimer are many. So, it is always better to have a disclaimer, even if you want to send it to an internal. When I have to send out signature, so my signature is pretty massive. I put all of this. So, do you think this is appropriate? No. Is this unnecessary? Very good. What about this?
L is also unnecessary. E is also unnecessary.
LinkedIn is unnecessary. How many people feel it's unnecessary? Okay. So that is again a personal opinion, because if you are writing an email and someone wants to know who you are more, LinkedIn is the safest social media you can redirect them to, because it's all professional.
In many schools, like we connect to the principal through LinkedIn.
Yes, if we are contacting a company.
Yeah.
Yes, if we are contacting a company,
Yeah.
then that is good.
Yeah.
Not for the school.
Like if you know the principal and you know his technical, you can send anything.
Yeah. But it is always, yeah.
Abhimanyu, I want to ask one thing. Do we have a LinkedIn page as a company or not?
Yes, we do. We're currently overhauling it because it's connected to an old employee's personal account. But we are going to, like, we're revamping it.
Because there we can put a company page only.
Exactly. You can put your company page instead of putting a personal page. So this really depends on what sort of people you're writing to. It is safe to just keep it there, leave it there. It doesn't matter, because even if someone is not tech savvy, it's not much harm, but if they want to know more about you, then they can just have a look over it. If you don't want them to know more about yourself, if you want to make it more about the company, then yes, you can omit this. Is this necessary? Completely not. You should remove it as soon as you can. So, effectively, what is necessary is only your name, designation, company, vision because it's a standard, disclaimer, and mobile number, obviously. So these are the things. How can a person contact you immediately? All of that. So one other important aspect of the signature is that it should look formatted. It should look clean because in a way that is representing who you are as a person. So if you have sloppy or mobile number, no formatting on the mobile number. So like here I took extra care to put it as it is displayed on say an iPhone. This is how you get to see numbers on an iPhone with spaces between 3, 4, 3. So all of this just gives a good impression to the other person that you're someone who's taking care of these things and you're not like a sloppy person just sending in a crank email to the kids. So that is about the signature. Then for the body. So very good email which I liked was one of the only ones I received in fact. Is this how I spell it? Yeah.
No.
This is yours, no?
No, please don't.
This is actually very good. I liked it. So this is an email to a principal. Now, see, he first introduces himself and he says, "I have been trying to get an appointment from you." Okay, so when you are writing an email to a principal and you want to book an appointment, what is the one thing you will definitely mention in the email? Not just requesting for an appointment, but what is one thing you would definitely mention? What suggestion would you give to them? Say, I'm writing to him and I'm saying, I want an appointment with you next week. What is the one thing that I need to add to that? I want an appointment from
It is important for you in what days.
Yes, exactly. So I need to give a specific date. It is always good for you to suggest a date. It is always easier for the other person to say yes or no than come up with a date and give it themselves. So
Or he might reply with his terminated.
exactly, he will reply, but it is easier for the other person to know that date and say, okay, this date that might be fine. So this is very good. This is what I was looking for. You request for an appointment on a particular date. And you have a reason why you're suggesting that. That is even better. Even if sometimes you obviously won't have a reason, it's convenient for you. But putting that also makes sense. Then this is very good. If the person does not know your company, this is the first email that's going to them. Then they're going to get a very good idea of what your company does. What would also make very good sense here is putting a few links within, linking all of this. When you say, when you are claiming something that recognize your top 25 education innovation companies, it makes sense to just link it because then people want to make sure that it's referenced. Our work so far very good. You've talked about what all you're trying to give an image, a premium feel to the company, and saying that you're prestigious. Done a lot of good work, and then the signature. So everything perfect in the signature except that this overflow. Other than that, this is almost exactly the ideal signature that you should have. So overall, what I was looking for was when people send me an email like this is what as a principal I will appreciate and this is what I will want to reply to. Now principals will be getting emails from like dozens of other guys. Sales people must already know about Pandu, one of our Chotu competitors, but I have to say that. Is there an ex-employee from Bhardwaj?
Yes.
I am not looking at it.
It's okay, but I'm fine with that.
Yes, so we welcome you with open arms. So anyway, it's sorry. No, like now don't change it. So yeah, so the point is that what will set you apart, what sets us apart as a company is that we have 13 years of research. And if as a person, if I do not convey that in my email, if I do not give them that image that I am someone who is responsible, all of this, this is a very subconscious role as to conveying what image you're portraying of yourself. So all of this is very important in that sense. Now one more thing, if I want to attach an image, if I want to send Sriram an image of say, I want to send him an image. This image.
That is the perfect way to send it. Best witness.
Okay, so if I want to send him this image, what is the easiest way for me to send it to him? I can send him a link. Now, when you are sending an email to people, you need to keep in mind that if they're viewing it on their mobile device, you preferably want an image to be there because they're not going to spend time just clicking on it. So, how do I convey? How do I send the image within the mail? What is the easiest way?
Copy paste.
Copy image.
Please copy image. Okay, so I can send it to you this way. But suppose I have to send him. What do I have to send him? I have to send him something that is not this text. Okay, so I want to send him this. Okay, this is also an image. I want to send him a screenshot of this his email. And I want to highlight some things. So this is just something I'm telling you. This is a convenient tool which we all use. If I want to show that I have a very heavy inbox and I can't respond to your email immediately, just in informal way. So there's something called Lightshot. It's a very interesting software which you can download. What it does is when you press the print screen button, it allows you to select an area of the screen which you want to talk about, and then you can do a lot of things. So this, if I just press Ctrl C, it will just copy the image and it will allow me to paste this entire thing as an image. Further, it allows me to highlight things. So I can have a line tool where I can just do something like this. I can underline. I have a rectangular tool. I want to do something like this, and then I can add text also. So this is a very good tool which you should download and use. This will come exceptionally handy. Now I know where I want to use it. It's called Lightshot. Lightshot. It's available for a free download. Yeah. So suppose you are in a school where they're reporting an issue and you want to highlight the issue and send it to us. So what will happen there is probably you won't get an image. It won't be a simple image that you have. It will be text plus image, or it will be an entire screen. So in that case, it is always very convenient to have Lightshot on your laptop if the issue is on your laptop. So I want to show that there is something wrong with this section. So I want to say that this is not in alignment. So I just hit print screen. I select it, and I can use this tool to say that there's some issue over here. And I can add text also. I can put text in. I can say that there is an issue over here, and whatever. So I just do Control C, and then when I just paste it in the email. So the entire this thing with all the highlights and all will show up in the email. Also now Google or Gmail will automatically resize your images for you. But even otherwise, it always makes sense to have images in the best fit option. If you use original size, and if I send it to you and you try to view it on your mobile device, it's going to really mess up your, you won't be able to view it completely. And if someone requests you for a better image, then you can always send it to them. In most cases, this will not get saved, so you won't be able to send it to them again, but you have, you'll still be able to get a general idea. Also, when you are attaching such images of issues or something like that, it makes sense to paste it within the body and not in attachments. Because an attachment will need to be downloaded first and then you'll be able to view it. Here, you can just view it in the body itself. Okay, I had received another email yesterday. It was quite interesting. Is he here? No. Okay, so this was actually slightly malicious. I wanted you guys to write this email because a lot of people get unnecessarily offensive, and I really enjoy reading those mails. So the email was supposed to be on that you have a colleague who is due to give you some deliverables and has skipped on the deadlines, and you want them to send it immediately, otherwise you'll escalate. So when you're writing an email, you need to keep in mind that thing is always going to be as a record, like almost till the end of time. or until everyone deletes every copy of that email. So what you write in an email, you have to be very careful. Even if I want to pressurize someone in an email, even as a colleague, I want to tell someone to do it quickly, I have to be very careful with the choice of words that I use. I cannot come across as threatening. So don't mind it. I found this slightly funny. So, what is important when you are writing to even your colleagues or when you are writing to an external person is making sure that your language is very safe. You cannot be offensive. You cannot say, if you don't do this, then I'm going to tell, like, you can't be a school kid. You cannot threaten to tell ma'am. So, all of these things you need to keep in mind, making sure that your language is always being polite. Any pressure that you put, you shouldn't come across as weak, as it's okay if you don't give it, but it needs to be, strong language needs to be avoided, but you need to get your point across. So that was the other email that I wanted you to send. In case you want feedback, me, Saloni, and two other people, we are the ones, we looked at these emails last time, and we received a lot of emails and we sent detailed feedback. So in case you want to try your hand at this, you can still do it, you can still send me an email, you can copy Saloni, so that is SALONI dot Rudra. This will probably show up, and India. And either one of these two subjects, preferably there's no preference, whichever one you want, you can just send an email to her and me. The two of us, you can send an email, we'll have a look at it, we'll send you feedback in case you want more feedback.
Yeah.
Question.
And since we set a proposal similar to schools, they are the same format. So how that was copied to the format? You made that.
You make that
It's customized only in the top first paragraph versus almost copied. So if I send that to you, you prevent to me so I can send all. Everyone else can send the same record to almost everyone. Because you will go through a proofreading process.
Yeah, okay. If so, try to write. So, salespeople, if you have a fixed format for say writing to the principal, try to use the other one. Try to do the one where you're writing to your colleague. So, you receive Shrishti's mail, just read it once. Send me mails of option 2, which is that your colleague is not giving you. Okay, so not going to take too much time. I hope there are no more questions. Questions? Thank you so much, Sanjay sir. Thank you so much. लोगों ने प्रॉक्सी में रखी है सारे ने अच्छे से